Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe. I was used to be really good, and I had enough time to post and share this as we started. For some reason, I'm getting slower and slower each time. So I don't know, man. I'm sucking. So good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Hope you had an absolutely fabulous weekend. Hope all the dads out there had a wonderful Father's Day, especially to our phenomenal male tribe members and guests like Jonathan Pookie Cruz, if you're listening, and Ephraim. I sent Ephraim a text, wished him a happy Father's Day. Who else?
Byron.
Byron. Yep. Argenis. There he is. And you had an absolutely fabulous Father's Day. So welcome, everyone. I am Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha, coming to you from a very beautiful, beautiful Southern Connecticut. The weather has been absolutely phenomenal for like a week now, and I am just loving it. So namaste, good morning.
Good morning, buenos dias, milagros, Arlene, Argenis. I am in Argenis's house here in Florida today. Good morning. And beautiful sunshine is out. So is the sun, Mr. Heat Miser. Who's going to complain though, right? Because it's a beautiful morning. Yeah. So yes, I hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. My daughter wished me a happy Father's Day because sometimes that's just how it goes. And we make the best of what we have, where we are. And that's what we got to keep in mind.
Correct.
As long as you're breathing, you can get up and walk away from something, you are living your best life. Don't let anything material fool you. Buenos dias. Namaste.
So, how does it feel to be back? Right, because this is the first broadcast since in like 2 months, right? Since you've not been in Florida, right? So this is how does it feel to be back?
I don't know. Well, one thing that I can say for sure is what we have to. There's no way to put it into words, but once you do a camino, it takes you quite a bit of time to readjust to real life, to the reality of your real life. So everywhere you go, there's really no connection right away because your connection was so deep with God and Mother Nature and it was just your mind, body, spirit. Like mostly that was your companion for all those days. And then you come back to the hustle bustle of things and deadlines and demands. And you just feel like you want to get a backpack and just run away, but you have nowhere to go because everywhere is going to be the same thing. It's an internal thing. So when I was in Connecticut, when I got back, it was a couple of days of it's just like when you lose your favorite ball, a teddy bear, you're like, oh, something's wrong. And then the reality sets in and you're still trying to fight it in a way of avoidance of certain things. And then now I'm here in Florida and now I gotta like really light the firecrackers up my ass and get things going. And it still feels like this. Slow motion. Like I'm still in another universe where I don't belong. And where's my helmet and my crayons because I need to get out of here type of deal. So yeah. But it's still a great experience. I'm just happy to be, if that answers your question quickly. I'm here. I was just talking to my daughter and my son-in-law yesterday. I'm like, why am I in Florida? I don't even like Florida. Never have. It's gonna be 16 years I'm here. Like, it's good to visit. It's good to have a long holiday. And what's on my hands? Thank
Yeah,
you.
there we go.
Thank you, Arlene, for noticing this. I wanted to feel iridescent today. So I dressed up in my pearls, and I got one pearl earring because I really don't know where the other one's at. And then I put pearls on my fingers instead of rings.
Oh my goodness.
So tell me it's not amazing. So let's say Michelle Houston, good morning.
Yeah, Michelle's on. Ruthie, our niece is on. Good morning, Ruthie. Good morning,
Bridget. Great
Dowling.
Rising,
Yeah.
Ruthie, darling.
Mildred Gomez is on. So Bridget, Grand Rising. I always love when Bridget comes on and says
I
that,
love
which
her
is
too. I
so
just love
it's
her.
just such a nice breakup from and I don't think about it, like I always just say good morning, but it just shifts me the minute. And then I see her, like, so I'm going to put you on the spot, Bridget. So Bridget to me is very goddess like looking,
Mhm.
right? She's and her smile. So when she says grand rising, I feel like, or great rising, I feel like
The
she's
energy
sitting
of
like,
the Arubas are coming out.
yeah, and I feel like she's sitting like on a throne, just
Yeah.
like sitting up there going, great rising to you this morning, like just that you're like, oh yes, thank you.
That's wonderful because it's true. Um, Hey, Ruthie, give me a call so we can set up and you can come over my house when I'm back in Tampa. I'm just here for a couple days. Um, and we can get together. And then I see somebody else here. Who's here? Oh, thank you, Arlene. I try to be different. I have to be different. The state of mind. This is something of what we're going to talk about, but I know we got to do the intentions. But good morning, Mildred. I love the pearls. Oh, you should see my, yes, I love taking pictures in pearls. But thank you. Um, and let me tell you a secret. You go to Walmart and it's where the sewing department is, where they have the
Oh,
little stuff. They have these little packets. And these are individual strips. I didn't cut them. I didn't do anything. I just took them out the package and put them on my fingers, because you know what? Sometimes we need to surprise the shit out of ourselves. Sometimes we need to take that little extra thing just to add something that's gonna make a smile from within. You know that inner child that's always there waiting for us to say, "Come on, let's go play." And this is fun. And for everyone I put on, I was giggling. So my inner child was there participating with me. And it's like we were like, "Yay, we're gonna have a great day." And then here's a mug that says sunshine, because we make our day is what we make of it. From life is good. There you go.
listen, I'm going to tell you, there are very few. Well, not I'm going to say very few. You ever see like certain um brands where they have their like they have their either the name of the company or their tagline, and you look at it, you say, oh god, that's fantastic. This is one of them. I am like, I look at this and say, I wish I came up with this. Like, I wish I created a brand that is called Life is Good. I take thrills in wearing their products just because it has my two favorite things. It has the expression that says life is good, and then the heart. They always have hearts on everything. That's their
In
brand. And
simplicity, I mean,
yes, and to the point.
and sometimes that's all we got to get to, is to the point, to say, thank you, Arlene, for saying it's beautiful. Bridget, pretty Bridget, like my pearls are from Bridget. um it's like, when you see something pretty, compliment it. When you feel pretty, dance to the beat of your heart. That's what you have to do. You don't wait on nobody, and you don't sell your compliments. You don't sell what you say, you give. And then that fulfills you. And I think that's what we got to do. Like, I wasn't feeling down. I just felt beautiful when I woke up this morning. I said,
Mm.
it's Tuesday. It's Viva. I'm here with my grandkids, with my daughter. I went to bed early and I said, you know what? I'm going to be the best goddess in awe of herself today. And here we are with $1.97 pack of pearls on my hands, and I look like $1,000,000. It's not how much you spend, it's, because nothing makes you pretty. You make whatever you put on beautiful. So
Mm.
that's why her mug is very important, because life is good. We make it difficult.
That's the
And with
truth.
that,
And we're really happy that all of you are here this morning. Michelle, we know that it's really challenging for Michelle Houston to come on because of her job. So we'll take Michelle wherever we can get her, and we're really happy about that. We really appreciate everybody that comes on before their job or sneaks us in while they're sitting at their desk. And really, really, for a while we talked about the fact that we wanted to see our subscriptions to our subscribers on YouTube to get like even higher, and to get all these views, and there's sometimes where we got huge amount of views. I don't think we've ever topped 1,000 purposefully, but maybe we did once. But you know what? In the end, it's the consistency of who comes on. I mean, don't get us wrong, we would love for you to share, and we would love for you to brag, and we would love for you to tell everybody about us. But all of you that come on so regularly, and even if it's not so regularly, we see you either live or you come on and you watch it after replay. We just want to say thank you. You've been with us since the beginning, and we really, really appreciate it. It's, even if it just stays this little pod of tribe members, then we get to hang out with each other twice a week, and then that's the way it is. And that's, what, that's good enough for us. We're good with that. We really appreciate how steadily you've been in support of us. So thank you so much for
And
that.
consistent. That was beautiful, badass, because you know what? In today's society, everything is about how many followers they have before they invite you on their show. Oh, who are they following? Who tagged them? And since the beginning, I've never been about that. I don't care how much following, because you know what? It's about the substance of what we do. And for those, remember I say a lot, I'm not for everybody, but I'm always for me. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I drink coffee, so fuck them. Good morning. And with that, I say that because it's not about the numbers. Like, how many followers do people have and they don't even know nothing about each other? Here, we've grown. This tribe has grown into a tapestry of sisterhood and brotherhoods, right? So therefore, we can text each other. We can celebrate one another privately or publicly like this. And then we know that there's nothing that's going to embarrass us enough that we can't reach out to one another. And that's really a following of sincerity. It's a following of comfort. In today's uncertainty, we know that every Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to see us and we're going to say thank you. We're going to say welcome. And you're going to carve that hour out of your day to spend with the badass Buddha and I. What more can we ask for?
Or as Gladiator Guru,
Hmm?
as Gladiator Guru says, we pop up every Tuesday, Thursday like slut magic.
What? And I think that that's the beauty. It's not about how many people may know about you, because do they really know you? It's about who you dedicate your time with. It's like every morning when you carve that 5 to 15 minutes out just to be grateful and to say, thank you, Father God, for this new day. Guide me, because I get lost in myself. Lead the way, I shall follow, because me. And that's what it is. That's your following. Have your spirit, and one of my quotes is, may your soul sing and your spirit dance. That's a quote I created when I first signed my first published book in 2006, and I have that everywhere. May your soul sing and your spirit dance. That is the following you want to wake up to every morning, is you. And then everything else falls into place as it should, because there's no coincidences. So back to you, badass Buddha, and let's start our intentions.
All right, that sounds great. This is very beautiful today. I'm like already like in a really relaxed, great headspace, which is fantastic. My poor little one woke up. My poor little one woke up with a stiff neck today. She's never had one before. It could be the way she was sleeping. I'll just monitor it. So, and she was crying because it hurt. She never had one before. So I was trying to like, get her to relax about it and just let it, not worry about it. So it started off a little stressful this morning. So I appreciate that we had that calming, start. So let's set the intention for today. The intention, as always on Viva, is to be intentional. Be intentional about your day. Set your intention for what you feel is the best for you, and
be grateful.
That's right. Be intentional and go with gratitude. Absolutely. Gratitude shift.
Go with gratitude. I don't want you to think of going with gratitude. I want you to be. And when you are,
be with gratitude.
If you say, I am, guess what? The gratitude shows up, the kindness shows up. You know, you become intentional. You're setting the intention just by just be grateful. Be grateful for that hole in your sock because it's making you realize, wow, I've been so busy being busy, I haven't paid attention to myself. I mean, every little thing leads back to you. Remember, the oak does not grow in the shadow of the cypress. So, what are you going to do? Set your intentions to be grateful in everything you do.
Good morning, Janet Ortiz from Austin. I love Austin, by the
Yes,
way.
I
I
saw
went to Austin years ago, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then and look what Bridget wrote. Just knowing you're making a difference, you're dancing to your own beat, and we enjoy the both of your energies and content. Thank you, Bridget. Bridget, sitting on that throne, just with the sitting
well,
there,
gold and
just sitting
gold.
there like this, right? And then saying, just knowing you're making a difference.
She
We honor
like
you.
the woman, the beautiful woman from that got married at the end of Coming to America.
Oh, yes, just that goddess. Let's say our mantra, because our mantra is so important and it's so powerful. And throughout your day and every single day, even when you're not with us, you could either say it quietly to yourself to just be like in that moment, or you could say it really, really loud because you really need to hear it and other people around you need to hear it. So here we go. You ready? I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real. Welcome, mi gente.
Yay. So we had an interesting, it's funny how you put something out there, and we're going to actually ask you all a question too, the tribe members. We love having guests on. We absolutely love having guests on. However, Gladiator Guru and I have been talking a lot, and we started to really, it's not sometimes an easy feat we find guests. We have to go through a whole process. We interview them. We have to collect their stuff and everything. And then we have to double check to see if they're coming, and we schedule people way out. So sometimes people forget, or they planned something they didn't plan properly. And so sometimes we'll say, we've gotten to the point where if we don't hear from the guests and they don't, I used to panic about it more so than Gladiator Guru, but we've gotten to the point where if they don't come, then we'll just carry the show. Like, we're not really worried about it. So we got to talking about it too. And we're like, we know the guests bring value, but do we need a guest every single Thursday is the question. So interestingly, we had a fabulous guest scheduled for this Thursday. She's lovely, and we could see about rescheduling her. But the odd thing about it is that I hadn't heard from her, and I had sent out something. And I said to Gladiator Guru, I don't know if we have a guest this week because I haven't heard back from her yet. And the interesting thing is she did get back to us, but for some odd reason, I didn't see it in the mail. Like, it didn't pop up. Usually it shows it's a new thing. So she did get back to us right as soon as I sent her the reminder. Said she was coming and all that stuff. So I thought that she wasn't. And so Gladiator Guru and I were like, well, that's fine. We'll just do it ourselves. It's no big deal. But then I double checked and I saw that she did. So I put the packaged everything together really quickly, sent it to her. And then she sends us an email back and says, I'm not going to be able to make it because I have a conflict. There's some other things, some new things that have happened in my life since we scheduled this. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So we just changed it. And this Thursday we have no guest. So we just like to hear some feedback from you. Like, I know there's value with guests, but do we need to have guests every Thursday, or would you be fine with just maybe once a month or every other week or something like that? Would you feel good about just Gladiator Guru and I being the ones to run the show most of the time? And we want to hear your feedback. I mean, if you say, no, we definitely we like to break it up a little bit. We like the guest every week, then we'll make sure that happens. But we could go either way. Gladiator Guru and I have no loss of words. So like, we'll never be able to not hold the show.
Yeah, but we do honor your feedback because you know you're here twice a week, every week you come, and so your feedback is really important to us. So um that would be great. Janine, did we say good morning to Janine?
We did. We said good morning to Janine.
And
Well, we
Janet,
didn't
I
say it
seen those
verbally.
pictures of
We didn't
you in
say it
Texas.
verbally. We didn't say
Huh?
it
We didn't
verbally.
say it verbally.
No, but so that's good. Good. Um, Also, too, let us know who your favorite guests were because we can always have people come back. Like we always know, we love Byron, we love Ephraim, we love our guys. You know that we love to have the guys repeat to come on, and they love coming on, so we don't mind having them come on. But seriously, like go back and look at some of the guests that we've had on and who really connected with you, and who would you like to see back on again because we can always ask them to come on. Um,
We all love to watch Ephraim. Can you ask Ephraim to come back on? It's
you know
just
that's always
there's
always
just something about his spirit.
yes,
And then Byron, he's just funny and straightforward. And Byron is a very important love in my life. And so we definitely gotta have him back on. And Pookie, I haven't seen him lately, but I think he's been busy with
he
his
has
business.
been busy. Yeah,
So,
he
I
has
mean,
been
yeah, I
busy.
mean we have a lot of female. And me, I have more masculine energy than feminine, believe that or not. But it's good to have a balance of both. And I think when we do have men guests on, they just bring a whole different vibe. And sometimes we're like, so a lot of people like to see Ephraim, but we need that
Milagros.
different type of vibe to start our days occasionally. You know, sometimes we don't even know what the hell we need until we got it. And that's
Yes,
gratitude.
yes,
Sometimes when the badass says set your intentions and I said and be grateful, sometimes you have to flip it. And sometimes you have to be grateful for that moment in order for you to think clearly and set your intentions. So don't be a
mm.
stickler for order.
Oh, I
You know,
like
be
that.
a stickler for living life. And when you decide you are going to appreciate every single day you are gifted, then guess what? Then you are the ones that sets the tone for that day. Okay, I'm
Yep.
going to be so grateful today because yesterday my back hurt and I couldn't get a lot done. Yesterday I was so focused on dusting and doing laundry, and guess what? I could do that at any time. Today I'm going to enjoy whatever your kids, your man, your yard, and then set the intentions of how what hours of the day are you going to be busy or you're not going to be busy. So really it's not about being so, what's that word I want, such a control freak. When we try to control our lives, we cheat ourselves from living a good life.
Yeah,
And
that is
good
the truth.
and good, by good, I just mean just happy. You know, it's not, we weren't born to just work and stress and have anxiety over bills. And I don't have this many followers because that's what this world has come to in the last year. Oh, this person got that many followers. What can I do to do this? So much competition, and then you're
And
not
it's
even.
all for validation. We're
And it
trying to
is.
validate
It's for
ourselves.
us. It's for us. It's for us. Are you
Yeah.
fake? No. So you know what? Validate that inner child, that inner teen that wasn't able to do what
Mm.
normal teens could have done at that time, and then do it. Go ride the roller coaster. Go put on some roller skates with your knee pads and shorts and go out and roller skate in your neighborhood. Do what you want to do because you are being grateful for the day you have, and you are setting the intentions to sort out your day accordingly. Don't blame anyone around you for your spirit. You are in control of calming that. You be grateful from the one above, whatever you want to name your higher power. I'm grateful to God every morning. And then you set the day. Today, I said an extra prayer. I said, Father God, please help me stay focused today and do what I'm supposed to do. Why? Because I know me and He knows me. And if we both say we know you, then guess what? I'm held accountable. And that's what you got to do. Look at what Janet says. Weekly guest speakers aren't necessary. You ladies do a great job.
I
What,
know.
Janet?
I know. Thank you so much, Janet. We appreciate that.
And
So
Milagro, whatever's more relaxing. Gracias. Gracias a las
so
dos.
we're gonna I'm gonna start us off because you know me, I gotta take my daughter out to the bus stop in like 2 minutes or something like that. So let's see. Bridget says, I ride my bike to the beach like 3 times a week in the morning just to get me in time, get
Just to
my
get
me
my
time
me
in.
time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
absolutely.
beautiful.
And when it's quiet like that too, you also connect very much with your source, which is absolutely fabulous. Um, and so our conversations this week, they meld together. So today is what's your rites of passage, and we specifically spelled the word rights with rights, but we're going to talk about rights, rites, rites of passage, and then your rights. And then on Thursday it is holding hands with your soul.
I
So
love it.
it's a combination of conversation. So I'm going to get us started, and then I'm going to let Gladiator Guru run this. So, rites of passage. When we talk about rites, rites of passage include things like birth, puberty, transition to adulthood, marriage, and secular initiations, like your religion. Like if you're Catholic, you know, you have your baptism, your communion, confirmation, that kind of stuff. It could also be like social separation, leaving the familiar. So like you grow up, you move away from your home. Transition, a time of testing, learning, and growth. So you're away from home and you're learning and you're becoming your true self. And then you return, maybe you return back to where you started, or something like that, and you're incorporating and reintegrating things that you learned from your past and things that you've learned on your own. And those are all like rites of passage, rites. And then the rights, what do we have the rights of in our life? Rights. We have the right to life. Because the right means that no one, including individual in the government, can kill you. Like you have the right to live your life to the way you want to live it. You have the right to freedom from torture and inhumane treatment. You have the right to equal treatment before the law. You have the right to privacy. You have the right to asylum, the right to marry and have a family or not marry and have a family, the right to freedom of thought, religion, opinion, and expression, the right to work, the right to education, and the right to social services, meaning if you need assistance, that there's somebody there that can help you. It doesn't have to be government. And with that, I'm going to leave it with you, Gladiator Guru, to go ahead and speak upon that. And then I will join you when I get back.
Okay, gracias. So the rights, everything she said, those are rights that we have, and that we should make sure that we're very versed in it and very well aware of what it is that our rights do. Now, I also did some seeking, because if you know, in my book, Soul Searching for Peace, there's a page said, I think it's called All American or USA, said that, well, USA. But do you know, in 2021, there was a thing done on women's rights, right? So it says women make 78 cents for every dollar earned by men, right? Black women earn only 64 cents, and Latinas 54 cents for every dollar earned by white men. So how, when people says break the glass ceiling, reach the top, why do we have to plateau in anything in our lives? There should never be like, well, if I take these 3 steps, then I'm here. If I do this, then I'm aware. No, it should be limitless of the things that we set our goals to. I think when we set realistic goals that will feed your spirit, then there's really nothing that can hinder our growth. The rights of women, the rights of we women intermount anything that is out there in this world. We were given the right to be the breeders of life. Forget all the logistics of what a government deems us to have the right. We were given the gift. We were chosen to be the breeders of life. Without us, there'll be no population they're trying to get rid of today. Without us, these men would not exist to be holding the positions that they are holding. Without us birthing life onto this planet, nurturing this life, teaching these men what is love, what is unconditional love, that they in tune get switched up for a learned type of love, right? If I do this, then I'll get this, then it becomes that type of love. But the women forget who they are by right. And that is you being the breeders of life, the trailblazers, the trendsetters. Let's talk about, just as a woman, what do you signify on this planet? Okay, for those that were raised Catholic and know about Catholicism, the Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, she was the breeder of life to the Messiah, to the prophet, whichever Bible you're reading. You know, Jesus came through a human woman. We were what we consider to be punishments with our menstruation and our menopauses. And, you know, who else can bear that but us? Good morning, Tiffany Bryan. Good morning, Iritza. So, what are our rights? Is our rights of passage, being born a woman. Yeah, we suffer in different categories, but we suffer. Being a woman is that it's that huge cross we have to bear. But the rewards we reap without even, there's no price tag onto it. So just by valuing your sole purpose of being a woman, going through your rites of passage, that puberty, that first period, and then, well, everything, there's pain attached to it. You know, your first period, these cramps that came out of nowhere, you don't know what to do. You're keeling over, splitting your body in half, doubled over in a fetal position, because what are these cramps? And then sex, it's not enjoyable for many the first time. And then childbirth, and then child rearing, and then it's like there's always pain associated with women. But that ever break us? No. And if anything, it should have molded the many of us to believe what it is, our rights, like our rites of passage was all of that, our ITES, but our rights as women, there's no top, there's no top floor, there's no glass ceiling. Okay, it's cloud upon cloud upon cloud. It's leaving the sphere. It's going out. It reaches out so far beyond that the men, that's why for centuries they have tried to keep us down, because of our potential, because of our amazing brains. You know, they always say, oh, you women work on emotion now. You need emotion to put things into perspective, to breathe happiness, to breathe consistency, acknowledgement of what we have to do, raising humans to go out there in the world and be better than you were. It's a task beyond any amount of payment. So what are your rites of passage? Was we have to go through all of this, right? Because we're women and that's just what we do. My favorite quote, I say it all the time, Rumi, the cure for the pain is in the pain. We are the pain and we're the cure for the pain. We're the boo-boo kissers. We're the ghost chasers. You know, we're Ghostbusters. We go in our kids' room, look under the bed, in the closet, under the covers, give them. We're so much more than what we even allow ourselves to believe. We don't hold ourselves in the regards that we went through the rites of passage, and it all began, centered, and ended with pain. Pain is not bad. Pain is a reminder that you are alive. And guess what? Keep going, because you're going to feel this again, but it's not going to be as painful. And I think our right is to believe who the hell we are in this realm. And in this realm, we are the kings. We are the kings that sit up on that throne. Okay, we surpass queenship. And yet we don't do it to control anything. but to fill all the little pockets and holes with love, with with intentions to be filled with the motivation that's flowing your way, with the inspiration, with the trailblazings and the trendsetters, with the teaching you what's right from wrong. We are not a second class citizen to the second class citizen. We are the front row and center. So, what is your rights? So, I mean, we in 2021, we power in politics. Women reached the highest level of decision making in 8 countries as presidents and prime ministers and head of states in 8 countries. After a history of men of 26 years, there's finally a first woman who happens to be a first African woman from Nigeria to lead the World Trade Organization. Okay, this is our 2021 things. We're waking up.
Finally.
In order to wake up,
better late than never.
in order to gain that awareness of awakeness, we gotta lose.
Yep.
Meaning we got to cut certain things off.
Hey, my aunt's on here.
And I think what happens is we want to hold on to what we are accustomed to, what we're used to, what's comfortable. And then, so we're holding on to all of this, and then we're trying to reach for what's our purpose, what we need to do, because our voice or our actions need to be there at that specific time to make a change in this world. But we can't get there because the rope isn't long enough to hold on to this and get to there. And then what do? We go inside ourselves and we become small all on our own. And we wonder why we haven't achieved the success, the abundance that the divine promised us. Why? Because you're still holding on to shit you should have let go a long time ago. So your rite of passage was into womanhood, the painful process. Because, it's all painful. When you're getting your period, you're they just say, oh, you're gonna need to wear some pads. They don't tell you about the breast tenderness, the cramping, the back aches, the mood swings. And then you get it. And every step into womanhood is painful. It's all associated with pain. Because you think that after you gave birth, it's over. No, the pains of parenting that child until your last breath, no matter how old they are, it's painful because you're constantly praying for their safety. You're constantly making sure that they're walking the right path. So it's never ending for us. But then your rights to passage begins with your awareness, begins with you discovering, feeling, and living your worth. And all of that is also painstakingly, because when you walk in your path and your rights to your passage, you're going to lose a lot of people. You're going to lose a lot of material things. So you have to be aware of what it is you value during your rites of passage. You already passed the first test when you gave birth to these little attitude people. And then now it's you, because for every beginning, there's an end, because there's no beginning. So once you're done parenting and your kids are grown with their own family, that's an ending for that part of your rites of passage. Now it begins with you. And let me tell you, I was lost for many years after caregiving. I think I feel more lost because the ending of the 10 years. And don't we always assume, but my rites of passage has not ended. My first rites with all these assignments, and then my rights to go forward. Sometimes I pull back and then I go forward, and then I'm being pulled from all different angles. And so what happens? I have to reprogram. So the first question the badass Buddha asked me this morning, I was a little stumped, because I am in that feeling. And don't think that because you've reached a certain level and you're making X amount of money that your puzzle is complete. You're missing the whole rites of passage. Every day that you get up and you say, I'm grateful for today, let me set my intention, shit's gonna happen. There will be setbacks. No matter how secured your planner was, how many people I scheduled to this. Oh no, I can't talk to you. I have to go. And and I can't be here, and I can't do that, and I can't do this because this time, and we are setting ourselves up for failure. Because you know what? When you set out a specific prayer every night and you want a message, Father God, please help me. I'm so confused with this. I don't understand. And then you cut someone off, or you fail to show up somewhere because it just might take you that extra 5 minutes you don't have to be on this Zoom call. And I'm only talking about that because that's what society has turned into. Then guess what? You just missed the opportunity to meet your guardian angel through a person, place, or thing that has been the answer to what you've been putting out into the universe. So your rights is to be whatever you decide. To me is my God, Elohim, El Shaddai, Jah, then me. Because if I'm every night I'm harassing him with this prayer, then I better be aware throughout my day. Why is this going overboard when I said if we had a hard stop? It's for a reason. Pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention, you're going to spend your life complaining. What is your rites of passage, mi gente? Let's hear it. Go ahead, badass.
You sure?
I'm positive as of right now, I am.
That was fantastic, Gladiator Guru. That really was. You were on a roll, and it was just absolutely fabulous. So thank you. Think about this, everybody. We have the right to our rights. We have the rights, RIGHT, to our rites of passage. And what basically Gladiator Guru was saying is it's really up to us. It's an awareness, and it's up to us to decide. Are we going to play small? Are we going to choose ourselves? And if you're looking at it in a way of, did I transition into my rites, RITES, of passage throughout my life? And if I feel like I didn't and I gypped myself, who says you can't go back and redo it? Like, I love the idea of the separation, leaving the familiar. See, this doesn't have to be like moving away from family. It's just leaving the familiar. What is familiar to you? So you have the right to do that. You have the right to get out of your comfort zone. You have the right to leave what you know, even when other people are resisting it, because your life has become their life. So you have the right to leave it. You have the right to transition. You have the right to learn and explore yourself. And then you have the right to return if you so choose, and then incorporate what you learned. The only thing I will say about this, and I don't like putting conditions on things. And, I think things need to be unconditional, like love needs to be unconditional. I'm not a big fan of when somebody says, I've got to choose me, and they disregard certain responsibilities, if it's an adult that's saying, I've got to choose me, I've got to do what's right for me. I get that. But when you have like young children that you're in charge of, and then you walk away and you're like, well, I got to choose me, the hell with you. And then you leave your kids to fend for themselves with the other person. To me, that's not how it works. Like that's you, when you leave the familiar, doesn't mean you have to leave your responsibilities necessarily. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. That's some people might not agree with that. But I think though that it's all about discovery of self. You don't have to leave your environment to move on to the next phase of your life and have that passage, that rite of passage. The idea that somebody is going to say to you though that, oh, you don't have the right to do that, RIGHT, bullshit. You have the right, like we said, you have the right to live your life the way you want to live it. You have the right to freedom of speech, freedom of, like, you have these rights. Not every country has those, but every country should. I'm going to should on that. And when, I got to tell you, like, just to give you an idea. So because of what I do, I'm on Clubhouse all the time, and I teach about narcissistic and toxic people. I talk to people from all over the world. They'll come and they'll message me through Clubhouse, and sometimes they'll set up like a consultation call, and I have actually spoken with a couple of women, one from Egypt and one from somewhere else in the Middle East. And it breaks my heart. Like, it breaks my heart to hear what they're telling me. And I'm grateful that they're able to talk to me. Like, I'm so grateful the fact that they actually can sneak the call in. They're calling from a country that's very oppressive, and they're telling me their story. I feel very honored for that. But then I also feel my hands are very tied, because I can't give them the advice that I would give to somebody who's from the US, because they don't have that ability over there.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about rights of RITE and RIGHT, it becomes painstakingly clear to me with these individuals that they don't have the same rights, RIGHT, and they don't do the rites of passage, RITE, all that often, not like we do. And we sometimes take it for granted. We have it. We have the abilities, and we don't do it. We don't use it. And then we blame other people and situations, saying, well, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. Who couldn't? If you had your children young and you say, I had kids young and I was never able to go back to school, who told you that? You have the right to an education. You have the right, there's ways to get money and financing for the education. So if you say I didn't have a chance or I'm not smart enough, that's your opinion. And either somebody told you and you believed it. You have the right to all that stuff. And so you have to decide, am I going to stand up and play big, or am I going to play small? You have the right to do either way. That's the interesting thing. You have the right to play big. You have the right to play small. But we also have the right to be accountable,
We
to
do.
ourselves.
But and to say, because you said something earlier, motherhood should never be sacrificed for anything. But because of my self-discovery, when you don't put yourself first, I feel that you're blinded by, like, so we make excuses. And I've met a lot of women and I've lived with women like this. And you have to love yourself and place yourself after God, because then that's when you realize what is important. And it's like you see the pink energy around everything. And it's better. We as women think that we don't have the right to make decisions because it might affect our children going forward. And then we make the poorest decision possible and those children get scarred. And I think when you separate you from your kids, you separate you from your kids. It's a package deal with the rites of passage thing. And I think a lot of women sacrifice many things, and they are doing phenomenal with a lot of things. And I salute you, because it's no easy task in raising kids and raising your spirit and nurturing that ego and loving that soul. And it's very difficult. It is a rites of passage to understand it completely. And I think that is something that we have to fully engage in, put that warrior paint on, and go into that battlefield and learn just how to do that, so that there are no more children growing up into our adulthood feeling that they were unloved, misunderstood, and maybe were a burden because things couldn't get done. So everything plays a role. So when you know who you are and you appreciate who you are and you value who you are and you know that you have the right to be, then you have that divine vision to set the course so that your offsprings never feel that way. And I say this because I am writing my book, Come Hug Me, because I wasn't hugged as a child. And it did affect my parenting up until my daughter was 10. Now she doesn't want to be hugged, and I just want to hug everything. But it is an effect. And that's why I said, had my mother honored and loved, put herself above everything else, she would have loved us more, instead of worrying about being with someone that might love her, that will, where she would feel needed by a male, or that financially she needed to be with somebody because she couldn't make it on her own, which that dynamic destroyed our childhood. So that's why, from my perspective, from growing up the way I grow up and watching my mother and seeing how I did it with my kids and how my sisters do it with their kids, when you put God and then you, then you have this glowing light that will reflect on what was meant to be in your life. But you got to believe in the higher power, because then that's how it will glow where you're supposed to be. The map is written out for each and every one of us. Let's follow the freaking path. So, and I think that what the badass Buddha said is correct. There's women out there who don't have that. We were all born where we are born on purpose. There was no accident. I wasn't accidentally born with a vagina or to my parents. So, what is our responsibility? What is our rites of passage? Both RITES and RIGHTS. What is it? We all are here for a purpose, to share, to give, to celebrate. And yet, this is us. Well,
That's
I say,
right.
flip that bitch, wear your pearls proudly, put your diamond on, and open your third eye, and said, you know what? I have the right to be who I was born to be. I haven't figured her out completely, because there's been a lot of detours in my life with motherhood and death and all of this other bullshit. But I'm on the right path right now, and that's why we're having this conversation today. Because you know what I love, when the gladiator guru, the third person, I have to get used to that, and the badass Buddha see things differently on live. You know why? Because it lets you know that not everybody thinks the same, not everybody feels the same. We are never at a discord. If anything, the honor and respect just grows, because we see things differently. Why? Because we
Because
were
we're
born
different
into
people.
different families, we were raised with different values, and we were raised with poor values at times, that we had to go through what we went through to come out and be who we are today.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so that's what we offer the tribe, and that's why in the beginning of the show, the badass Buddha asked about the guest scenario, because you know what, we don't have a script when we talk to you ladies. It is the divine spirit within that's like blah blah blah, and sometimes, our frenemies. There's a balance, the yin yang. So sometimes I'm gonna say, "Whoa, glory be," and fuck that shit. But you know what? The thing is, be who you were born to be. And in that process, your growth will be painful. You're going to have to separate from people, places, and things. You're going to have to let go of comfort zones. You're going to have to say, let me share this Viva Cafe video with you that I saw on this day. Because you know what? Sharing is caring. I'm just talking about the video, but when you learn something and you share it with someone else, that person needed to hear it, and that's why you learned it. I mean, think of life in that revolving circle, and you would realize what your purpose is and the rights that you were born into, both rights. And that's how then you always know, okay, this is happening, and you don't sit. You don't sit. Oh my God, what am I going to do? You're going to sit in the problem, but not to stress, but to solutionize, because the solution sits in every problem. So instead of be like, oh my God, what's this? What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Say, okay, this is where I'm at. Where the hell am I going after this? Badass.
I want to acknowledge what Milagros wrote. We have the right to our rights without violating other people's rights.
And
Absolutely. And I think if we looked at it that way, the thing is that sometimes our right to what we feel that we have the right to do does not agree with other people. And the way that you get around this, to not disrespect their rights, to honor other people's rights by also doing what you need to do, is by saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to come from a place of compassion. You do you, I do me, and this is who I am. And if that's violating your rights by me being who I am, then I'm going to have to move over here. And you know what a good example that would be? Because you and I were just talking about this. I didn't know this, right? And so Gladiator Guru is going to go to Dubai in the fall, right? And she says she has to wear the outfits according to
where I go.
yeah. And I thought about that, and I'm like, that's really interesting, so that's a question, right? If you are very, very proudly American, let's say, and you say, I
Then
have
don't
the
go to
right,
Dubai.
That's what I was gonna say, right? So it's like, if you wanna resist that and say, "No, no, I'm not gonna cover my hair. I'm not gonna cover myself up because I have the right not to do that." But in that country,
You're
that they don't
violating.
have the right to do that. So
Yeah.
you have to make a decision and you say, do I honor their cultural rights? I don't have to agree with it, but do I honor it? Or do I just say, you know what, I'm not going to go? See, for me, it does nothing for me to go to Dubai, and I wouldn't, does it have to do with the rights? Nah, I mean, I could wear that. I don't care. I mean, those look really pretty. You could have a
I
bad
got
hair
married
day.
in one of those. I love it. But
You could
yeah,
have a bad hair day and nobody'd know. But to do it day in and day out, that would never happen. Like, I would never live in a place that's going to tell me that I have to wear this way when the men could wear whatever they want. That doesn't work for me.
because
So so
this,
so I have to say, I'm not going to violate your rights. Like, if you come to visit me and you are used to wearing that, I'm not going to make you feel something else, because you don't have to wear that. You could be that, because if that makes them feel uncomfortable because they've grown accustomed to that, I'm not going to disrespect their who they are because I don't agree with it. That's not really fair. So I love that Milagros wrote that. It takes us to really practice mindfulness. When we start to learn about ourselves and we think about our rights, rights, and our rites of passage, rites, we have to know that this is specifically for us. We have the rights to do this, and we can say to everybody out there that we have the rights, but we don't have the right to tell people how to live their life. We just have to worry
absolutely.
about ours. And when we really take a step back and just focus on ourselves and not worry about what everybody else is doing, and I think they should, and shoulding on them. It's I don't agree with everything that everybody does, but if I just honor the fact that they know what they're doing, or they're working towards it, or that's how they live and they're okay with that, then I got to be okay with that. And if I'm not, then I don't hang out with them because they don't align with me. But the only reason I know that is because I became really clear on me. And it
Hmm.
took almost, it took like 50 years to become clear on
But
me.
that's what I
So
was going to say. When you place the importance on you before anything else and anyone else, including your children, you look at them with different loving eyes, with different understanding eyes. Why? Because you're not quick to get an attitude. Your mood swings are not controlling you. You don't feel like disrespected when somebody says a joke and you're like, you get uncomfortable and you're like, oh, and then you get defensive. There's none of that going on. So you can listen to your children clearly. You can understand what it is they want when they can't verbally say it. That is such a love story going on that's flowing through you and to your children. And then you can understand better. Because when we get defensive and get offended by other people's cultures and how they do things, the problem isn't what anybody else is thinking, doing, or saying. It's you. That's why I said, God, me. I gotta love me and everything about me and understand my shortcomings in order for me to use discernment with the world outside of me. And you know what? You brought that up about Dubai. On the Camino, you find people walking around naked in a 24 bedroom. You find men wearing their Speedos, and they're not model shapes, but they're like, fuck it. I'm a man. I'm going to wear a Speedo with my gut flowing over it. You find people who don't wear deodorant and then they want to hug you. You come across every walks of life on the Camino de Santiago. And guess what you do? You walk to an albergue, they assign you a bed, you take your shit out, you take a shower, you come out, you say hi to everybody. You're grateful that you have a nose that works, that you can smell, and then you go walking. Why? Because that is their culture. And I put myself in a situation where I'm going to meet people from all walks of life. And guess what? Everybody comes with something. You know, my husband once said, my husband was African American. And I don't know, we were talking about something, you know, me and my slick ass. And I know we got to go. And he's like, what do you think? You Puerto Ricans smell like wet dog. And I laughed. And to this day, I think it was so hilarious that he had the courage to say that to me. And we just laughed and we were just joking with one another. But you see, it's like when you say something to someone, rest assured it's going to come back. So honor yourself in every place, besides everything and be honest with who you are with all the people you come in contact with. And guess what? You're being authentic. You're keeping it real. And whatever you don't know, you will try to learn, because not everything out there is for you to know or understand. I learned that the hard way. Right? I always want people like, you're nosy. And I used to say, no, I'm inquisitive. But I was just nosy. I needed to know. To what avail? Be who you are. And the Bada said it perfectly. So with that, oh, Liza's finally back.
Yeah,
We missed
Liza's here.
you.
Good morning. And Iritza wrote, and you trust in the process. That's what I learned. Yes. Yep. And we have to remind ourselves of that all the time, because we do lose that. And when you lose it, you really flail. So you have to trust in the process. You have to know that everything that's presenting to you at any moment, good or bad, has a purpose. And then it's what you decide to do with that information. That's when it really takes shape. And trusting in the process. So the more we resist it, the more we give up our rights. Actually, when we resist, we give up our rights. And so, yeah, that was a beautiful way to end it. So thank you
Look,
so
I
much.
was going to ask you, can you give us an example of what you just said that you learned about resisting? The more we resist, the more we lose our rights. Was there anything particular that you resisted within the last year that either held you where you were, or like didn't flow you forward as you should have?
Well, okay, especially like just lately, I was resisting. So we're coming out with volume 2 of the book, Her Badass Story, and we have there's 12 of us total. We have fabulous authors on the book, and I was resisting for whatever reason, and rather than try to figure out why, I wasn't present like I should have been. I am going to shit on myself. And when I finally just stopped and became really fully aware, and not, I mean, I was aware of it, but to be accountable to it, like to actually say, okay, yeah, I'm resisting. I don't know why, but enough already. Like I already said to myself, 2022 was going to be the year of trusting in the process and having faith. 2021 was the year of resistance. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I had to check in with myself. And this isn't the first time in the last 6 months that I've resisted something, but I've caught it and then checked in with it and then moved forward. So the moment that I surrendered to that process, just like Edith was saying, and trusting in the process, I got up and I owned it. And I told all the authors on the call, I said, you know what? I haven't been present for you like I should have. I apologize for that. And now I am shifting and I am here. And that created a big shift just in the process. I had the authors reaching out to me through email, thanking me for like saying it and being honest like that. And they did feel like there was a little disconnect, and they were honest with me to say how they felt. And I was happy for that. And it was nice, because once you get past that, then everything flows. It's like, I don't know. We always, and this is something you have to, unless you get down and know how to flow, unless you are really good about it, and it's very habitual for you. If it's not, you have to check in with yourself all the time. Am I resisting today? And then you talk to your higher power, God, or source, whatever. What have I been resisting this week? Help me see the clarity. Like what am I resisting? And don't focus on the why. Because we're so like, humans are so lightweight. I don't know, especially women. I don't know why. Why are we doing? Don't worry about it, because sometimes you get stuck on that piece. You just say, okay, it's not serving me. So what am I learning?
What are you learning? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Go
What am I
ahead.
learning
No.
here, and what do I need to do to move forward? So that was
And
the
I
example.
think you're doing fun. I mean, in the last author meet we had, it flowed. Like you saw, like your words came out with a little shine to it. So everybody was put at ease. So I'm grateful for that. I saw that. I caught the last piece, and it's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Thanks,
But
Liza.
it's there's two questions we need to rephrase when we're talking to ourselves. If Margie said it one more time to me, I would have screamed, but it was one of my great lessons. What? Trust the process?
Process, yeah.
But how did I let this happen? And why did this happen to me? Those are two negatives thrown at you. Because the why, you're probably never going to get an answer to, so it's going to haunt you. it's going to rob you of your glow, of the light. And blaming yourself for what someone else did to you, it will leave a dark spot, and it would grow as you grow older. So try to eliminate or not use, right? Do you agree with me that how did I let this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? And
Yep.
those are two things that I learned quickly. They didn't stay long with me, even at the age of 6. But remember, I'm a rape and molestation survivor, two different topics. So how did I let this happen? When I was raped, 19, my 2-year-old sleeping next to me because I felt I did something wrong. Did I not lock the window? Did I not lock the door? And the why was I being molested by this man at 6 years old? So those things, those questions, I can speak to you all day and we can argue about it. And I will defend that those are two words that when something like that happens to you, you need to rip them up, throw them in the fire pit, burn the fuck out of them, and then throw the ashes to the four winds, the four corners of the world, because they no longer should affect you. They weren't for you. So with that, it's all about your rites of passage to your rites to passage.
And your right to the rights, your right to live the life that you want to live, to be who you are.
And be
And
happy.
that's what we need to end it with. That's, and so on Thursday, we're going to be talking about holding hands with your soul. And that's going to be a continuation of this, because once you get to know yourself and once you embrace and hold hands with your soul, you will be able to move very, very easily through your rites of passage, RITES, knowing that you absolutely have the right, RIGHT, to do so. So with
I
that,
love it. I love that, badass. Thank you. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
all right, my loves, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to us today. We will see you on Thursday. Everybody have an absolutely phenomenal day. Liza, we're going to say happy graduation to your
Yes.
son and to you and your husband. Congratulations. We're not sure which day is graduating, but it's phenomenal. And we were just glad that you came on. So late or not. All right. And look at Milagro says, I'm ready for Thursday. That sounds
Do
great.
this.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And namaste. So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, remember, mi gente, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.